It's 2 in the morning. Somewhere in India, an order has just been placed and the clock has already started. We have built a convenience so powerful it has a name, the on-demand economy. We want everything, instantly and increasingly, we expect it to arrive without a footprint. That is not a small ask. It may be the defining paradox of India's supply chain decade. At CargoNXT West India Edition 2026, this question moved from theory to the table in a conversation that brought together freight, fashion, FMCG, and the platforms redefining how India shops.
Every app on that screen, from the beauty products that you buy for your family to the dinner that you will order tonight, relies on the people sitting on this very stage. We have spent the day talking about Blueprint 2047, but the future isn't 20 years away. It's landing at a warehouse at 2 a.m. tonight. In India, we have created a convenience monster. We want it now. We want it delivered without a single gram of carbon. This is the ultimate supply chain paradox. Today, we aren't just talking about logistics, we are talking about the survival of the on-demand economy.
The starting point of the conversation was not a supply chain problem, it was a behavioral one. India quotes, consumer has been recalibrated.
I spent 23 years moving containers, and my daughter orders a shampoo and it's delivered faster than I can find parking around my house. This is the reality. Everything revolves around expectation. Here what we are sharing our experiences. 3 or 4 years ago, when quick commerce started going mainstream, let's just picture it at home, so you need something, you need salt, you need butter, you need ketchup, it's not there, and you send the driver, you send someone down, or you call the kirana guy and he delivers. This was, I think, a boom waiting to happen, but as fellow colleagues have said, we have lost patience. I still remember the first time I ordered a phone on Amazon. I mean, all of us have had that journey, when you bought the first thing you bought, you could never think of buying something online. Everyone said, dude, buying online is just not like touching and feeling the phone. You see it, just look at it. You have your big billion days and your Amazon sales. The first phone I ordered took 5 days to arrive, and I ordered and I patiently waited. If you want a new device today, you don't even have to wait 24 hours. I saw recently on social media, one lady in the middle of the night, she wanted hot food. So she ordered a microwave oven on Blinkit. That is where the direction is going.
The numbers behind that shift are striking. E-commerce once made up less than 1% of category sales for most consumer brands. Today, for some, it's double digits and climbing fast.
Almost slightly more than 50% of my consumers are already Gen Z consumers, right? Gen Z plus millennials, and we are talking about roughly majority of the basket. And the preferred channel of both product discovery and shopping today for Gen Zs is quick commerce, is evolving to be quick commerce, right? To the extent that where probably a year back, the number of transactions, and probably some of you will also relate to it, right? The number of transactions you will be doing across your quick commerce app would be maybe once in a week or twice in a week. Slowly and steadily, that has almost increased to roughly 4 or 5 transactions in a week. And I personally know people who do 4 to 5 transactions in a day as well, right? To something as simple as I've just started doing cooking and I think 2 ingredients are missing. Let me just quick commerce by the time I'll need them.
Correct.
Very, very basic use case that we follow.
Behind every 10-minute delivery is a quiet piece of urban infrastructure most consumers never see, the dark store.
Quick commerce relies on this invisible dark stores, right? I mean, that's what makes. And for all of you here who are not aware of what a dark store is, it's essentially a tiny little garage or maybe an office kind of a space where the local delivery guy is going to store the essentials that you see on your website, and then depending upon the demand, they are going to be supplying that to you. So that's a little bit of a tiny little warehouse.
A dark store is nothing but a kirana without a what we call it, without visibility, without a board, without a point of sale, and it has many more delivery people than a normal kirana has. That's the only evolution that has happened. What has happened is because it's centralized, orders are centralized, and then processing is, and then we can effectively whip those delivery boys a little harder and make them work because we have the economies of scale working for us. There's nothing really changed.
But proximity alone doesn't solve the problem. The real challenge is what sits inside those stores and how brands decide what belongs there.
You will have to sense the demand in such a way that your inventory cycle or the structure are set in such a way that you are reaching to your orders well on time and right on quantity. That's the structure that we already thought of before getting into scaling up largest extent. The second key factor, you will have to restructure your SKU listing, because if you are selling, say for example, 2 liters a bottle, Storia doesn't, I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. If you are selling 2 liters a bottle in general trade, you cannot go 2 liter on your quick com or dark stores, right? Because the person will be delivering that 2 liter bottle in one single order. Plus, your cost model will be totally different. Internal cost model I'm referring to, my commercial to my buyer. So that is something that Chandan spoke about, that restructuring of your SKU according to your channel.
This is forcing brands to rethink something as fundamental as packaging itself. A 2-liter bottle that works for general trade may be the wrong unit entirely for a dark store. Different size, different cost structure, different customer. Every conversation about speed eventually arrives at its cost. And this one did directly and without the usual corporate polish.
I want to break this notion that sustainability is only about carbon. So, number one, yes, air is the most carbon, we emit the most carbon dioxide in the air, right? But then there is something called as, you can offset it. You can go and plant more trees.
Agreed.
It is, no customer here wants air by choice.
Yes.
It's when you need it, that's when we come into the picture.
Sure.
It's not forced down your throat. Having said that, I think the most amount of investment in becoming a greener tomorrow is having in the air freight world. I'm sure all of us have heard about the sustainable aviation fuels.
Yes.
Right? So things are definitely changing. Now that's and then like in terms of carbon offset, I think there are the 4 R's: recycle, reuse, even refuse. That's as simple as that.
What emerged instead was a more practical view of sustainability, one rooted in material choices, packaging redesign, and incentive structures that actually change behavior.
See, I'll be very transparent with you guys that India has a plastic problem. Each one of you will be agreeing to it. India has a plastic problem. But having said that, it's not about providing the brand loyalty by adding 1 rupees to the the saving sustainability. No, it's also to look about what grammage reduction that you are actually making on your plastic consumption or the procurement. 2027 we are going to see those changes on the compliances rules and navigation by the government side as well.
If the first half of the session was about the physical architecture of speed, the second half turned to its invisible counterpart, the data and intelligence systems now deciding what moves, where, and when.
What I genuinely believe is anybody who's telling you what AI is, what its potential is, what its future is, what it can and cannot do in future, is either fooling himself or yourself, right? So nobody knows what it's going to unfold into. We only know what we know today. On that note, I very, very strongly believe it's a very powerful means to unlock so many things in terms of efficiency, in terms of demand sensing. Beauty as an industry, we operate on extremely high number of SKUs. If you're talking about a makeup foundation or lipstick, there will be like 100 shades of it. How do I find the right tools and means to be able to put it all together and in my natural language able to communicate with it? And this is something which agentic AI has really enabled at a very, very short span of time.
And the implications go beyond efficiency. Better demand prediction means less overproduction, which means less waste. In an industry built on speed, intelligence may turn out to be the most sustainable investment of all.
We are entering a new world where it is not just predictability or predictions. It is about predicting with better information. We can compute data in one go. What took us maybe hours or even days or even multiple people. So that's where technology will come in.
Closing the session, each panelist was asked for one line, a single non-negotiable move that could define India's supply chain advantage by 2027. Together, their answers read less like 5 opinions and more like a single blueprint. What this conversation made clear is that India's on-demand economy is no longer a question of whether it will scale. It already has. The real questions now are structural. How inventory is held, how packaging is designed, how sustainability is measured honestly, and how intelligence is built into decisions that used to take days. The businesses that get this right won't just move faster, they'll move smarter. And that, more than speed alone, is what will define India's supply chain advantage in the years ahead. CargoNXT, connecting leaders, ideas, and the next generation of logistics. More conversations like this. CargoNXT Logistics and SCM Summit New Delhi edition, this August 2026.